met a new Amanda.
Why?
Really? That's so beautiful, Amanda.
Oh, it was so nice to meet you.
Come around more often.
I see it home later, but so
Good to meet you.
oh God.
Why did you meet a new me? Jeez, guys, it's always
Because you
me.
never speak your truth.
Ese brazo, wangathi unesikalo. Nini lokhu pepereza la ubhizi ungishaya ngevalo.
Every time I feel like, okay, maybe I'm just sinking into a hole in Durban, I go to Durban. There I'm 2 years and I'm singing right. You know, like
In and out.
yeah. You know, it's a, now in league.
How long? Will
I think
you
I'm
live
the
there?
only one here that hasn't lived in Joburg.
Have you ever thought of moving to Joburg?
Definitely.
Maybe trying things out in Joburg. And then why haven't you gone there?
Because timing is everything, I guess. And right now, with a toddler, it's not the best
What would it
time.
take for you to consider it?
A support structure. I think,
That's a big one.
yeah,
Well, speak to that, that's
everywhere
what-
you go, yeah, a support structure is important. And for me to move without that would drown me.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't want to make that decision based off, yes, I could make money, yes, connections, especially for the type of career that we do. The digital space and social media is booming right now, equally. So it definitely makes sense to move, but I'm such a family-centered person. I wouldn't be
And Joburg
myself.
is not a family
Yes,
city.
it's
crazy
definitely-
that people live there.
But it's not that if you're going to be in the streets, really.
But even for me, it's like you think about, do you want your children to grow up around like buildings, or can they go to the beach on Monday afternoon and it's not a whole excursion? You know, and that's like, even children, for me it scares me. Equally, the schools are in the city, like the most expensive schools are in the city. Like that's, so that your kid grows up much quicker.
Sure.
You know what I mean? A lot, like not even judgy, but a lot less grounded. I've moved around a lot as a kid, but I feel like every time, like the attachment I have to Durban is very much family setting and support.
Yeah.
Like every time I think back here, I know that no matter how much money I have in my bank account,
Yeah.
I'm still in a sense of happiness.
Yeah.
Equally,
That's
yo.
important.
Speaking about happiness, guys, happy birthday to Lisa.
Birthday,
Clink, clink.
buddy.
Wow, I didn't get the memo. Clink, clink, buddy. Clink,
Clink, buddy. Yeah, more live,
How have
guys.
you guys been like since, you know,
Oh.
beginning of the year?
Ooh.
Beginning of the year to now, how has life been for you? Obviously, we've had an epidemic that has hit the world. How have you treated that? How has it treated you?
It's so ironic that you'd ask the same question before COVID. And a lot of times it wouldn't be a genuine ask.
You'll be like, oh, John, okay,
Yeah,
I'm
now
okay.
it's like,
Yeah.
how have you been? Like, you know?
Yeah.
And as
ne?
much as the situation is very bad, I also take a lot of positive from things like that, that we are
Facts.
starting to kind of learn to be human beings again and just take care of the basic things that we should. Just knowing how you're doing. How's your week, your day, your month been? You know,
the
how are
little
you coping?
things.
What are your
Definitely the little
situations that are
things.
frustrating you?
I think the biggest learn is gratitude for me.
For sure.
Like I've always had comfort, and now that you never see people uncomfortable, but COVID is like taken everybody under the bus.
Yo.
So I'm just like, damn, I get to eat at night.
It got
know,
a roof
like-
over my head.
And I feel
yeah.
so bad. Like we were talking about, because I've really gotten into like doing a lot of stuff at home, and people send you all these like messages like, this is so cool, and I'm just like, damn, they're probably like, like, you know, they just, you know, you realize, damn, I could still pick up a hobby. Some people can't even put food on the table.
For sure. It's made you realize what you take for granted.
Yeah, it's been crazy.
and for what it is, you know. And in terms of work, you know, Amanda, you're very strong in the digital space.
Yeah.
Has it been as expected throughout a lot of other sectors and industries where you're taking a knock financially, or has it been the opposite?
I think in the beginning, everyone took a knock because everything was just shut down. And for me, as much as I do digital work, we have to get sent stuff for us to actually work. So with the delivery companies, exactly, you can't send stuff to people, so that means no work. And I remember May and June were financially nothing came in. But because I'm a saver in general, I didn't really take a hit as much as the next person would. So I always prepare myself financially.
Weren't you afraid with packages when you were allowed to receive them? Did you think you could have caught something?
No.
Or something like
You
that?
guys really spray
Yeah.
sanitizer.
Yeah, I got sanitizer everywhere in the car. Why?
Really? Yeah, I
got
think we're gonna
sanitizer.
get cancer in 5 years. There's no
Because of
way.
the sanitizer.
No, for real. It's definitely going to be detrimental somehow to. You're sanitizing your hands. If you're at the mall, you sanitize your hands about 30 times.
Yes. 'Cause at
That
every
can't be
point-
normal. Like, and you're
I've
also.
actually never thought
where's
about
the dirt
that,
going?
hey?
For me, it's like, where is it going? It's
That's
burning.
my thing.
Like, I'd rather wash my
If
hands.
I'm just going, and then where's the dirt going? Like all of a sudden it's gone.
It's
I don't
rubbed
think
off.
The dirt goes, but the bacteria dies because
Oh,
it's
okay.
bacteria thing more
Here we
than
go.
Dirt
the
thing.
hands. I think that's what sanitizer. With washing hands, is cleaning everything and killing the germs.
That's an interesting take that surely something has to happen after a period.
Yeah.
Definitely. It's going to be the plastic thing. Like,
Yeah.
humans have an unbelievable way of creating problems while we're solving them.
Yeah.
What have you come up with during this time? I know I've been watching
I hate
social
this
media.
question.
Well, it's not
Because
like-
what if some people just survive the pandemic without coming up with
That's
anything?
fine. I think that's
You created yourself.
fine.
Because now for a person like me who didn't create anything, I'm put in a position like how am I?
Like
I'm
you
such
did
an
nothing, you
underachiever.
went-
Come on.
You come up with whatever you thought of.
I
Doesn't mean
know.
It must be out for you
True.
to have come up with something. It could be your plan that,
Yeah.
this is what I thought during this time. this
Yeah,
is
what
what
if
we
Jay,
come together.
my only thought was making it to the next
It's
day.
I mean, that's not right because there are a lot of people.
But you know what, like you said, you're
Yeah.
always working. You have such a big digital space that I think for people that had so much work, it was time to kick back. Some people
Yeah.
have not kicked back. Like, I'm a kickbacker.
Yeah, I
get
kicked
some
back
stuff
and
done,
I was
but
like, okay, when it's time to roll again, I'm a roll again. But I was like,
The reason why I asked is because I've been watching your social media and you've been baking your assholes. And it looks really, really good.
Send your
Did you
uncles.
take it out?
Send your uncles.
I'm a foodie. I love food, and especially desserts, sweet tooth. So even on Instagram, I go through pages and pages of people that bake or do sweet stuff. So I would look at yours and I'd be like, yo, this is really dope. And we've never seen that side of it. And I think it's like a space you should really embark on. So how did that come about? It's like what made you?
Was that mama or was that you?
No.
don't
Can't
crave mama
blame
too
me.
soon.
Listen, Sasso, tell him you see from start to finish. No, it's that my mom was like, someone was like to me, Lisa, who taught you how to bake? And my mom, I think she caught herself. She wanted to be like me. I said, when? I wanted to be like, when? When? I think my mom's a chef. She works with food, hospitality. So definitely I've always had that in the home. And I like to please my nieces and nephews. I'm the favorite aunt, right? So food is the
really?
easy way to like get children's attention. It's fun.
Being a chef is like a cheap profession
Why?
because it's such a warm thing. right?
Yeah.
You literally can change people's mood like this.
This girl sent
yeah.
me this message now, and I was like, that's so cute because it feels exactly how I feel about social media. And it says people who bake as their hobby are so cute. Like, oh, your idea of fun is making little sweets. I love it. That's so cute. And I
She's
feel,
not even eating the stuff, but it's already like flipped.
yeah.
Whatever she's feeling, you know what I mean?
But also, it's the creative thing. Like, I love making things up. I do stuff. I attempted to paint. It's horrendous, but I still
enjoy
do it.
it,
Yeah, I still do
yeah.
it. Like, I definitely, and I do it as a joke. Although, like, I'm like, oh, guys, look how bad it is. I'm still like, guys, you're checking me out. Like, I'm trying something. So that's, yeah. I think I'm definitely going to follow up on that. Like, you're like the 10th person to say.
So you're basically saying this pandemic or us being at home has allowed you to explore other sides of who you are and just
Or maybe
see where
get
it
other
goes.
people to see it, because I think
Yeah.
I'm actually like that. Like
Okay.
everything that you've seen during the pandemic is actually who I am.
So you shared more during the pandemic.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah,
the opposite.
definitely.
I think to a point I had a conversation actually yesterday with, she's not really management, but she manages certain campaigns I do. And I've got a campaign coming up. And now when you work with brands, they take a lot of engagement. Is very important. It's like value. So whether you have 200,000 followers, if your audience is not engaging, your paycheck is also going to be quite low.
Is there like a sweet spot in terms of engagement?
No, I don't know. But it's how she explained it to me was like you could post something, but because people like to see your face, they're not going to engage with, for example, a Louis Vuitton belt you posted as a feed break on your post because people want to see your face. Or I know for me, people like seeing my mom and baby kind of content, but I think I couldn't create during that time. And obviously, my stats are azogwehla. And she mentioned that to me. She was like, "Oh, Amanda, for this campaign, you can't charge this much because your engagement is a bit low. But because I know you can produce your good work, I'll give you the fee you want." But she also like encouraged me to start posting more. And I was like, I wonder why the pandemic made me go opposite instead of sharing.
It's probably just because you spend such a large majority of your time posting anyway.
Yeah.
And
Kick
maybe
back,
for
yeah.
Lisa, it was the opposite. She didn't have the pressure to kind of be posting, so she felt natural to start
posting.
when she started doing
Which is
things that were
actually
at home to her.
interestingly is that when everybody that was posting stopped, there was a gap
There was a gap, yeah.
and a shift in the space.
No one lie.
Also, what I realized is that it does take up a lot of time. Like, in influencers' work, like, you have to do makeup, you have to
Yeah,
do hair, you
hair.
have to do the settings to be perfect. There's so much that goes into it. Maybe you can just touch in on the actual industry, your take on it, information that people don't know. Like, I didn't know there was something called a feed break.
Yeah, I was going to
Yeah,
ask about
oh
that.
yeah, a feed break
There's
is,
a lot
yeah.
of things that people don't know about the social media thing, and they take it for granted. They think it's just, oh, you just have to look pretty.
Girls cute,
Yeah, those cute, yeah.
You're like, girl woke up in a bad mood, but she still gotta be
You
cute.
know? And it's a whole industry which has become very huge, especially at the time we're in right now.
Especially for women. I
career.
love seeing women prospering in this space because everything is so male dominated. And for once, there's a field
Instagram,
where, yeah,
we own it,
We
yeah.
own Instagram, you know.
OnlyFans, you know?
But it's such an amazing space, and it's a growing space. Now, me as an influencer, I'm learning certain things. Like the conversation I had yesterday with the girl I was mentioning earlier is that she was like, "Okay, Amanda, we see that you are producing content, but now all your content is sponsored, and sometimes people don't like being fed sponsored stuff. They want to see you going out to the beach, and that's a feed break. Like you posting a sunset, that's a feed break, Trevor.
Yeah.
We would say, okay, it's sunset, yeah, bo.
Sorry, I really want to know about this because,
Yeah.
you know, obviously being a social influencer is like something that's very recent. You know? And for you, especially being in Durban, you were like one of the first people to really sort of crack it. What is like learning things like feed breaks? It sounds simple
It
in
does,
theory,
yeah.
but you know, when you're posting on your timeline, it's not something you're gonna think about. Okay, let me give my content a bit of break, and put this. You know, how did you learn these things? Was it someone that taught you? Was there a process that you went through? And how do people that
Yeah, it was
want to
trial and
get
error,
into
actually.
the space? How do they coming into being a social media influencer? How can they learn about those kinds of things so that they also perfect that kind of part?
That question is a trick question because influence can be anything. So I personally don't like the term influencer, but also I'm also not a content creator because content creation is also another level of it. But how I got into the space was, I guess, people just like pretty girls, and they want to know.
And your hair. I think the big one is
and
people
hair.
love your
yeah,
hair aesthetic.
and hair
I
as
mean,
well.
I'm here
So
for
it was just like, oh, we want to see how so and so gets her hair done. Like, what is she using? It's like, why is it curly, or why is it growing this way, or why is it this and that? But it's just interest. Interest sparks, I guess, influence, if I could say. And the more people click on your page, the more you appear on people's feeds. Explore. So that's just that. And it just bloomed from there. And how I learned more about the industry is that I know when I do campaigns with people that are in Joburg, Joburg people don't, well, some will, but most of the time of the people that I've worked with, but we talk about our rates, we talk about the things that we should be talking about, and that's how I learned certain things too. You know, sometimes you work on a campaign with a celebrity, and some celebrities obviously keep to themselves, but some will actually help you navigate the space with what to do next time, or how to negotiate a deal, or how to do a media kit. I never knew that you need a media kit, but those are the things I learned through other influencers.
Is there any sort of pressure for you to kind of contribute from a social influence standpoint, or are you just doing what you want to do because you're really enjoying it? Which is also maybe a very big
I mean,
factor.
it's two things. Firstly, I've had a lot of people send me stuff, and I'm just not good at it. Like, I'm not good at going online and being like, oh my God, guys, try this. It's very unnatural to me. Excuse me, I always say, like, I have a lot of friends that have, like, I have very low number of followers, like 13,000. I have friends that have, like, 26,000, 30,000, but people, like, exactly what she's explaining, people like
13,000 is a low number of followers.
Just, I mean, on the scale.
I would think it's a lot.
It's a lot.
You reckon it's a lot? No, but like just compared to in terms of influence and how much people get to you. But what's interesting is, I was telling my sisters that I get about 3,000 people view my story on a slow day. And then if I'm doing anything, I get about 10,000 people view my story. And people like my feed, but I'm more interested in what I'm doing. Do you know what I mean? They like to see what I'm doing because they think she's so cool. So that even on my feed, they'll double tap or they won't. But
but at least
they
they're
love
engaging
my
on your stories.
Yeah, they want to see what's going on.
And sorry if I'm cutting
Go
you
for
off.
it.
Do brands engage with that kind of a thing? Like, will a brand actively seek you because they know that you've got 13,000 people?
Yes.
If you get 10,000, that's over 70% engagement. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely.
And that's engagement is the pulling factor these days. Like I said earlier, you can have 200,000 followers, but if you only got 2 people, or like 2,000 people viewing your stories, it's gonna be like how
Definitely.
there's a disconnect.
I know people that have more than 200,000 people, and they don't get 10,000
views on their stories. Because the thing is, your feed just looks nice.
So that's like not even 2% engagement, but you are sitting at over 70%.
But also, I think I'm also creative, so a lot of people that follow me are a lot of young creatives that aspire or are interested in becoming a creative.
For
sure. I'm not followed by, like, I think it actually breaks down. Like, I also don't like the word influencer, but there's like fashion, lifestyle, then there's the arts, and that has got an audience. Like, these kids want to know, because that's the only source of information they're getting. You know, they want to know, how do I end up shooting a video? How do I end up doing this?
How do I edit a video too? Because a lot of people,
and I help with that a lot. Like, that's my passion baby, is getting a lot of young kids that have been to school and have the education, get into the industry, especially with like production and everything, get into the industry, but not have to go sit and be an intern at an advertising agency first, when they like steal all your joy.
Sure.
By the time you're done 3 years there, you're done. You don't, and then now and all you're doing is carrying lights still. Meanwhile, they're taking all of the content, because they'll be like, oh, Lisa, just, what do you think about this? And you're thinking, it's not on my payroll. Like, I shouldn't be discussing this. And if you want me to discuss it, put me on a payroll.
But do people know that they can say those kinds of things? Because I think we're always eager to please, in the hope that maybe you're gonna get like a promotion or gain favor with.
It's the responsibility of us who are there or have a little bit to create a space for these kids to come into, you know, and not be like, for us to create black production companies so we can hire black kids that can come in. Because I'm so sick of it. You go on set and it's just white people and it's a black show. And you're like, this is disrespectful, actually. Like, this is why we get fed our stories in a bad way.
Because white people are behind.
Guys, obviously congratulations on your daughter.
Thank you.
Sweet baby child.
Very cute. Oh my goodness.
And, you know, I'm also been fortunate to be around her quite often and just see her grow. You guys are doing quite a great job.
Thank you.
Now, Elisa, you're a new aunt, I think, right?
Not yet.
Soon.
Any minute now.
Any minute.
Live like with kids, all the new parents.
This is gonna be my 5th baby as an aunt. So,
So you got experience, no?
but I guess it's different because it's like my sister. It's been my brother's children.
Yeah.
So I've like watched her get a big belly. And
Oh,
like,
you've
it's
you've
very
experienced the
close, right?
pregnancy.
yeah,
quite,
you know.
yeah.
So it's quite exciting. And it's gonna be a Virgo baby.
Okay.
Yeah, another one. No, we don't need any more Virgos. But yeah, how do you guys? Firstly, how did you get Zoya into the space of the line of work that now is coming for her specifically?
I think because I was already in that space, obviously sharing my journey sparked that engagement, and engagement is the key to everything, and so brands picked that up. I think the first campaign I did with her was Huggies, if not Huggies, Dove, one of the and
Too many bags.
no, not too many bags. Oh no, it wasn't Huggies, it was Chelino. It was Chelino. And Chelino for me was probably one of the best partnerships I've had in my career as an influencer, because it ushered me into motherhood
Oh, that's nice.
so effortlessly. Like it literally groomed me into that space. And it was a partnership that I could actually share with my daughter. So it was, that's how actually it started. And yeah, it boomed from there.
So the real question.
I know she didn't answer. She didn't say anything.
That's why now I need to go say because I can see this thing.
She said nothing. I didn't know.
What do you mean I said nothing?
Okay, wait, hold on.
Goodness.
Handles the money.
Me?
Who gets the check?
Me.
Yeah, you deserve it.
I get the check.
Why does she deserve it?
Why does she deserve
Because you made half of her. Is that why you deserve it?
this
She's
half?
going to
How?
get the campaign, everything.
Yeah.
Half one.
It doesn't
Why?
get half.
Why is it his half? Thank you. Half what?
You guys are saying you made 50% of her. So where's his half?
Let me put this on the
Okay.
table.
Okay.
She feels that it should be her money.
Whoa.
The baby's
Well, the
money.
baby's money, it's the baby's money, but it's her money.
Yeah.
I have no say in this money. This
Because
is my baby.
no, because it's on my social media.
Yes, she got it through you, but
Yeah.
you would have had the baby without me.
No, but there's a very easy way to handle this, guys.
What?
You take your management fee as the facilitator.
Yes.
You take your account
What are you
handling
guys
fee.
talking
Wait, hold on.
about?
Your account handling fee for the usage
Men.
of your account. Then you bang the baby money.
Akahamba
Yeah,
sasahamba
I
naye
don't, personally,
shilling
what,
one
what I
with
do,
Majozi.
campaigns I do with her, I don't eat her money.
Lisa, if you had to think about it, right? If COVID was never to end, what's the one thing you'd regret the most not having done?
Before COVID, find a partner. I definitely like.
Do you think it's changed how you date?
I've been going on virtual dates. It's crazy. I'm just like,
Virtual dates?
no, but like most people are communicating through FaceTime.
No, I also went on a virtual date. guys.
Yeah, like people are calling.
Guys, I didn't know that.
I had like a movie date. which was
I had a whole
How?
like quarantine bag, quarantine.
Dates every day.
Yeah, FaceTime and stuff.
No, that ain't a date.
It is.
During the
I
pandemic.
ordered the food came.
that's
It had a
so
whole day.
cute.
Said-
It said we watched the movie, we had to sync,
Do you know how many
synchronize
people have been up till 4 in the morning?
That is so cute.
That's what you gotta do. That's what
Wow. Reach.
Every 5 minutes, yo, I need some.
Imagine.
Actually, that's really
That's a very, yes.
Why didn't you tell us about this?
Because you behave like
you
this.
do. Like, who you are? You can see each
No,
other.
I mean, but like legit, like it's a new thing. We've never had that.
There's a new thing. Like I thought about it. I was like, actually, I can still make this happen. We just gotta watch this thing together. Then I thought around it, got food, ordered food for her,
Interesting. I
and
like
then made
that.
it like a date.
And how was your virtual dates experience?
I probably had a virtual relationship at this point.
Again,
No, I'm joking.
I'm in
No,
that
but
party.
for like everybody else that was single, we were meeting people when the country was open. Now you're meeting nobody. So there are people that you could have just known briefly, and you guys start engage on something because of Instagram, then they're in another city, you guys are speaking on the phone back and forth, and that, I think, builds a lot of relationship. Like if you hang out with someone.
The right way also, I
Yes, the
think.
right way.
It is, because I haven't, he gave no, he hadn't done no.
Yes.
But it's still great.
Get to know.
But imagine you
Interesting.
can't receive
Very
Uli, he lay babes akasabambeki.
Babes akasabambeki.
No, but you're
So
right.
you guys met?
No, I know him, yeah.
No, I mean like after, like since you
Ngishiluti country Vuli. I'm still trying to stay at home and like hold out the last
Yeah,
level
this
of
is
level
like the
2.
window period. I'm thinking like maybe another week,
Yeah.
week and a half, 2 weeks.
Wow.
You know, but yeah, man, I think
that's so
that's a very interesting
It
point
is,
that
because
you
that's
bring up.
where else was I meeting people? I was meeting them
Exactly.
out and whatnot. So obviously now everything changes, and like I said, I was sharing more, which is a great thing. You guys told me that. I didn't know I was sharing more, but I realized, I was sharing more, so people would engage with me more. It's crazy how we're all taught to be so self-conscious. Like, I'm trying to break out of the seal of, and not caring, because I don't think there's anyone who shouldn't care, but just break out of the seal of, I think, and I hate to bring it to race, but it is that, like, it comes deep to the deep root of the fact that as Black people, we don't see our worth. And this is the generation where my worth is this, like, this is it. This is what I've got to offer. And it's not competing with anybody else's. So I must value like my space and value my time with everybody. And we disrespect ourselves within ourselves so much that when people do it, we allow it to happen. And then when we switch up, people feel like, oh, but things have been fine. Like all of a sudden, what's the change? So I think self-worth is very important for like our generation, because that's what's going to shift our children's mindsets.
For sure.
Ushagalazi, ushagalazi, ushagalazi,